Join me in congratulating Tim for being March's Member of the Month. Tim, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Woo!
Super excited.
So tell the people that don't come to 5 a.m. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, a little bit about me. I am married to the love of my life and best friend, Brittany, and which you've met.
Did she tell you to say that?
She did not, but I know better, right? We have 3 kids, and a lot of you have met them when they were up here and we were coming in to the evening classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 2 older boys that live at the beach. And so I am a police officer, and I've been doing that for 23 years.
Mm.
And I am originally from Wyoming, and I came to North Carolina after being stationed at Fort Bragg. So I enlisted into the Army in '96, and my first duty station was Fort Bragg. So that's how I came to North Carolina. And I joke around sometimes, but I remember getting off that airplane in Fayetteville. I flew in, and they opened the door, and I walked out, and I experienced trees and humidity for the first time, and I said, what did I get myself into? So, but yeah, so been here, like I said, been in law enforcement for 23 years, and I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I actually got that while being a police officer. Used that college fund that I got from the Army. It put me through the academy, and also was able to get my degrees from that. So
Nice. There you go. And so what made you want to go into the Army and everything like that?
Well, as we'll say, when I was a little boy, I vividly remember I had that machine gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'd go outside and play all the time, and I wanted to be in the Army or be a police officer. And
You were in both.
Yeah, been blessed to do them both, but I just felt like that was my calling.
Mm.
And so I came to a crossroads after high school. I had opportunities to play high school football in college, and for me, it just wasn't there. It was an exciting opportunity, but I just felt like I wanted to serve my country. So I enlisted into the Army, and after I did my enlistment, again, came to that crossroads, either enlist and do more time or follow my other passion that I wanted to do, which was law enforcement. So I took that route, and do not regret it. It's been very rewarding.
Was that a pretty easy transition, or was it like a completely different animal?
Well, the military is very structured, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I felt lost for a little bit, even though the academy that I went through and law enforcement agencies are structured. It's still, I miss the military and the camaraderie that was there and stuff. But it didn't take long, and the transition was not bad. But yeah, there was a little bit of a transition there.
Mm-hmm.
So from what we call soldier back to the civilian world. So. But not bad, and it's been great. So.
And then did you come from Fort Bragg right to Fuquay, or did you kind of go to a bunch of different towns or cities?
Well, so I was stationed at Fort Bragg, and I lived in Fayetteville during the time I went through the police academy. I went through Fayetteville Tech's BLET program, and then I got hired by the Andrew Police Department, and I did a short stint there. I did 10 months. I remember I was making $20,000 a year, and I thought that was great. And I said, well, if I don't want to eat ramen noodles for the rest of my life, I might need to look elsewhere. So I was actually recruited by the assistant chief at the time that was in Fuquay, and he gave me a call and said, look, I heard good things about you. You want to come to Fuquay? And even though it was like 8 miles down the road, if that, I was like, I don't even know where Fuquay Marine is at. But anyways, that landed me in Fuquay when I got a job, and that was back in October 2000.
Okay, so you've been there for what, 23 years?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
There you go.
It's been great. So
yeah, and then what kind of just worked your way up the ladder and everything?
I did. I actually went pretty quick. I had that military mindset, so I was very structured, very disciplined, and yeah, just worked my way through the ranks. I got patrol sergeant, and then after that, worked my way up to lieutenant, and then in September of 2000, I got promoted to captain. So currently, I am the captain over the patrol services division. So and that's what I'm doing now.
Nice.
But,
And then I know at one point you were like the interim chief of police or whatever.
yeah.
For a short
So
stint.
during the time when our former chief retired, which was January of last year, the town was looking for the next police chief, and they had the trust and confidence in me and said, look, we want you to serve as the interim chief until we find, the new leader of the department. So they put their full trust and faith in me and said, look, lead the department during that time and, keep the train on the tracks, so to speak. And that's what I did. And
make sure shit doesn't go haywire.
that's right. Yeah. Just make sure nothing goes crazy and, so we can have a smooth transition. It was a very humbling experience for me, just that, the fact that they had that faith and trust in me. So, and I people ask, why didn't you get the chief's position? I did not apply.
Mm-hmm.
So, I throw that out there. I did not apply for the position. I think I would be a good chief,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, it's all about timing, and it just wasn't the time for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, you can still make a great impact on what you're doing now.
Oh,
and
I
everything.
absolutely love it. Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome. And so how does CrossFit help out with your job on a daily basis?
That's a really good question. I would say, so I was the team leader over our special response team for 9 years, and then the team commander for a year, and got to do a lot of cool stuff then. And I wish I had found CrossFit during that time, because I think some of the stuff that we did on the team, CrossFit would have really translated more to that tactical environment, and kicking in the doors and doing all the high speed stuff. But I would say CrossFit translating to the law enforcement world, and what I do, kind of look at it as the mental aspect and the physical aspect. I would say mentally, getting in here and being able to grind through that workout to get rid of the stress and get primed for that day and clear your mind, because there's a lot of stress with that job. And if you don't have a way to filter that and get rid of it, it builds up over time.
Yeah.
So I think CrossFit helps from the mental aspect and being able to clear your mind. And then the physical side of it, obviously, is the performance side of it, is being able to be fit to deal with anything that you might potentially deal with on the street, be stronger, faster, quicker. I tell people when I teach law enforcement materials, when we became law enforcement officers, we lost the right to be unfit. And so I challenge every law enforcement officer, look, it's hard sometimes with the schedule and stuff that we have, but you've got to focus on your fitness, because the public expects us to be at our best and respond to whatever crisis there is. So I think CrossFit is huge, I know for me, in preparing me to be a better law enforcement officer.
Yeah, I mean, at any point in time, you have no idea what you need to be able to go and do.
That's right. 0 to 100 miles an hour, and it could happen just like that.
You'd be filling out a form, and all of a sudden, car chase or something like
that.
That's
right. That's right. So it's definitely beneficial, I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and even if you weren't a police officer, right? I mean, there's so many other things that it benefits.
Absolutely.
Just in like your everyday life with your kids and your family, right? I mean, if you want to keep your kids tired so they're not always running around the house like crazy, then you need to be able to tire them out or be able to do things with them, right?
Yeah. And I've joked with my wife a few times when our kids will fall asleep on the couch downstairs or something. I carry them up. I said, this is why I do CrossFit, so I can carry the kids upstairs.
Yeah.
But no, just overall quality of life, right? Being able to do things that you might not have been able to do before, or just maintain that. It's huge. And I have thoroughly enjoyed and wish I had found CrossFit a lot sooner. But for, reasons, I had some shoulder issues that really I thought would prevent me from doing things. And then I had this vision of what CrossFit, or I thought CrossFit really was, and that was what you see on TV. And I'm like, how am I going to walk into a CrossFit gym and do muscle ups or some of these other things? And I can't do that. And so that kind of prevented me from, joining CrossFit earlier, trying it. And then one day I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And I did. And I've been drinking the Kool-Aid ever since. So I am absolutely addicted.
It's like, and then we talked about this a little bit before, but it's like crazy how people get the TV CrossFit, the sport of CrossFit, the 0.00001% of CrossFitters, and they think that that's what every single person in a CrossFit gym does. And it's like, no, they're normal people like me and you. They're normal people that you just see on a regular basis or whatever. It's nothing crazy, right? And they're just people coming in and wanting to get healthy and get fit, and like you said, maybe even just take an hour out of their day where they're doing it for themselves. They're relieving stress. They can only focus on that where their feet are, right? They can't focus on all the 1,000 other tasks they have to do or whatever for that stress relief.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of intimidation from people maybe who want to start CrossFit, but like you said, they see what's on TV, and if they understood that you don't have to be able to do all that stuff when you walk in, and there's scaled versions to it. I mean, that's what I do. A lot of my workouts are scaled. I want to be at that level, but I'm not there yet. And I think if people knew that, you get more people that came through the door. So, but it's hard to get that message out there because they do watch the CrossFit Games and see these elite athletes doing these things, and they're thinking, well, I can't go to a gym and do that, So.
And then, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the CrossFit Games, right? Because there are some people that have joined the gym because they see it on TV and they're like, oh, that looks cool, I want to try it out, right? So, like, there's, like, pros and cons to that, right?
Yes.
And then, like you said, if people can just understand that they can come in, adjust to whatever their skill level, fitness level is, maybe it's one of the programming options that we have, or maybe it's just, like, something that's specific to you, right? Then, I mean, and then that we can work their way up. Like you said, you're working your way up slowly, and then just over time you'll get there.
Exactly.
Trust the process.
That is 100% correct. and it works, I will say that. So.
Yeah. And I mean, you started CrossFit, you said back in March of 2022, and then you came here in April, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and so, I mean, and then it's just like over that time, it hasn't even been a full year yet, but like just think of all the stuff that you've made, or progress that you've made.
I've accomplished a lot, and I'm happy, but I'm still the guy that's never happy.
You're looking for that next
and
step.
I'm just chipping away at it, and trying to work on those things where I need to be more proficient, but I'm seeing gains, and I can't complain with that. So I've actually seen some significant gains in some areas. So like you said, the process works. So you just gotta come in and be consistent, and just work through it.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah. And then so with all the stuff that you have going on, right? You're working out, you're working, you have a family and stuff. How do you balance that?
It's tough. And that is
you have like a calendar where you're like written all this stuff
the biggest challenge. And the patrol officers, they work a 12-hour shift. I used to work a 12-hour shift, but we would joke and say it's never really a 12-hour shift. It's a lot longer than that. The role I'm in now is the shifts are a little bit different. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Well, it's never 8 to 5, but it's a little bit more consistent than when I was working the road. But that's the biggest challenge, is you're trying to balance work, which for me, I'm on call 24/7. I don't have a day off. And then trying to get here to the gym to make sure my fitness level is where it needs to be. And then also, focusing on family. And, you have to seize those opportunities, especially with family, to say, you know what, we've got some time, let's do something together. We have family game nights at the house. Those can get pretty intense.
Monopoly or something like that. Boards
that's
flying
or
something.
People getting upset, cars flying, but you just have to take those opportunities as they come, and just make the most of them.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do in our house, is just make the most of those opportunities that we have to spend time together as a family.
Yeah, I mean, you got that time, so might as well use it to its fullest
That's
extent, right?
Yep.
That's
Take
awesome.
every opportunity you can.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about how CrossFit's kind of benefited you, life and mentally and physically and everything like that. But what was your biggest challenge prior to joining the TCF family? I know you talked about like structure a lot, and was that like a big problem for you?
Yeah, so I would work out, and I did follow CrossFit. Watched it a lot on TV. Never had stepped foot in a CrossFit gym, but had downloaded apps and stuff, right? And I'd kind of mimic the workouts the best I could, but I was the guy that was always, I call it GTS. Google that stuff, okay? So I was always GTS and stuff, and right? The best workout programs and all this, and I found that consistency and structure were where I was failing. I'm like, well, am I doing this right? Is this the right program for me? And I wasn't seeing any results, because I just wasn't doing things right. So I was the guy that was willing to put in the work. I'll put in the work, but I need that structure. I walk in this door, and that's what I love about TCF. All I have to do is walk in the door. You're going to tell me what I need to do, and I will do it. But yeah, that's where I struggled, was the structure and the consistency.
Yeah, and then how'd that make you feel? How'd the lack of structure make you feel?
I just felt like I wasn't accomplishing anything. I wasn't getting anywhere fitness-wise. Like, it's, I guess, that plateau. I was just staying stagnant and kind of the same. I wasn't seeing any results or anything. But after I joined the TCF family, I got that structure. I got that consistency. And the gains, kind of, we mentioned earlier, those gains were just huge. And so for me, that's what works. Some people can go to a gym, they can do their own structure. That's not me. I need someone to give me that structure and the consistency, and I'll put in the work, and it's definitely paid off for me.
Oh yeah, and it takes more off your plate, right? You don't have to go and Google that stuff, right? Or
That's
you don't
right.
have to go in and figure out what the heck is a power clean or something like
Exactly.
that. Right? You just show up, and then we'll take care of the rest.
That's right.
I tell people all the time, the heaviest weight to lift is the front door. As long as you can lift that and you can get in here, right, then we can help you with anything
Yeah,
else.
that's a good point. And you're right about that. You just got to open that door.
You just get in here, and then we can help you.
That's right.
And then, like, what would you say to somebody that's on the fence about joining?
Just try it. I mean, the bottom line is you just try it. Look, if you walk in and it doesn't work and it's not your thing, no sweat. You tried it, right? No big deal. But
Yeah,
at least you can walk away saying it wasn't for me. But I will say, I will caution you, if you walk in that door, be careful, because it is addicting and you will be drinking that Kool-Aid also. So give it a try. See if it works, and understand there are skilled options. I will say the coaches here, they're all great. And if there's something that you can't do, they're going to give you an option to that. So, yeah, just try it, and because you'll never know, and you don't want to have any regrets down the road saying, man, I wish I would have tried it, because you're wasting time. You got to get in here. You're wasting time.
Exactly. What was it? The best time to plant a tree was yesterday, and the next best time is today.
That's right.
Yep. Just go ahead and start planting the trees. No. But Tim, you got anything else that you want to add?
No, I want to thank you and all the coaches for being inspirational in my development here at TCF, and helping me be successful. I've really enjoyed the journey so far, and I love my 5 a.m. class. Shout out to them. They are great, and we grind and we get it done. So TCF's been a great place, and think highly of it. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the same without people like you, man. So thank you, Tim.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And congrats to Tim again for being March's Member of the Month.
Thank you.
And everything. And make sure you tell Tim congratulations when you see him in the gym.
Thank you. I appreciate it.